Do you feel back bends in your yoga practice in your lower back? That tension in your lower back as you're in it, or that tightness as you come out? Well, that is not how we want to feel. And in this video, I want to share with you 3 basic tips, things to keep in mind, and we're going to practice them to help you get your back bends out of your lower back. Yeah, it's going to be good. So welcome if you are new to my channel. My name's Laura. I have been a yoga educator and life coach for over 30 years, specializing in really combining the two to really help you transform your life in a really powerful way. In today's video, I'm going to do more of a tutorial that is experiential. So you're going to want to get out your yoga mat and do it with me and feel it with me. Now, if you are new to my channel, I usually start out with a brief introduction of what we're doing and why we're doing it. I always envision my videos as like you're in class with me, and this is what we do in class. I really want to help you take your yoga practice to the next level. Then we'll take it to the yoga mat. Now, if you just want to go to your yoga mat, the link is down below so you can just hop into the practice. But if you want to learn a little bit more about what we're doing, stay tuned. All right, so back bends in yoga are a really powerful category of poses. There's lots of categories. We have standing poses, forward folds, twists, restorative, inversions, back bends. Back bends help us open our heart, energetically really opening up the 4th and the 5th chakra, a little bit of the 3rd chakra, which is, let's just say, powerful for manifesting. I won't go into all of the talk around what those represent. But the problem is most of us have a little bit of a forward hunch thing going on, if you will, just from texting and being on the computer, and just life is in front of us, right? We don't tend to open the front enough. And back bends help us do that, help us counter that. And the other benefit of it is when we go into a back bend, when we open up our heart, it gives us this feeling of oomph, this feeling of power, this feeling of, yeah, I got this, I deserve this, I can do this. And that comes in very handy in manifesting, as you can imagine. But the problem is most people feel it in the lower back because we have so much tension in this upper back. You know, we're tight here from this forward slunch, just made up a new word. Hunch and slouch comes out slunch. And we're tight in the upper back. I don't know if I've ever met anybody who doesn't have some tension in the upper back. We tend to feel it in the lower back. We're not moving from the upper back. We're settling into the lower back when we move into back bends. So what we need to do is really pay attention to that and help us get out of our lower back. What I often hear from students is, oh, I always feel it in my lower back. Or I always feel it when I come out. I just feel this pinch in my lower back. But don't worry, it goes away right away. And I'm like, no, we want to get it out of the lower back. And if you keep doing back bends into your lower back, you're just going to keep doing back bends into your lower back, right? We need to retrain the body to move from a different way. So right now, this isn't one of the 3. I want you to repeat to yourself, I will never get into my lower back again. Meaning, if you feel it in your lower back when you're back bending, come out of the pose. We want to retrain the body, and if you keep going into the lower back, you're just going to keep retraining the body to do the thing you don't want to do. Okay. So the 3 things we want to keep in mind with doing back bends to help get it out of the lower back. The number 1 is we need to release some of that tension in the upper back. Because there is so much tension, you may not even be able to feel movement in your upper back. I have had students who can't feel drawing their shoulder blades together, moving from the shoulder blades. But we need to create enough flexibility in that upper back so that we can actually move from it. Number 2, we need the legs to be active. So often when we're doing, especially lying down back bends, when we're, on our belly, like cobra pose or locust pose, bhujangasana, shalabhasana, the legs are laying out back behind us and not doing anything, but we need to engage those legs because that helps pull it out of the lower back. The 3rd thing we need to do is engage the back. You want to think of lifting up and out of the lower back, engaging those muscles, and holding that engagement as you move into your back bend. Now, for today's video, we're going to cover the lying on your belly, back bends, is a really good place to begin. And then we're just going to touch on Ustrasana, camel pose, which is when you're on your knees, back bending. Don't worry if you're a beginner person and that scares you. I promise I will keep it super simple for you. I can help anybody do it. I'm going to give you lots of variations, but it's a little different there, right? When you're pushing against the floor coming into cobra versus on your knees and you're dropping back into gravity, it's going to change things. And so we're just going to cover that briefly, just in case you're experiencing this pose in class, and camel pose just sinks right into the lower back if you don't know what you're doing. So I want to make sure I equip you with a few things that help protect your back. Okay, without further ado, let's get into today's class. So you want a mat and a blanket or 2 blocks for what we're going to be doing today. So if you're ready, let's get into today's class. We're going to begin in a simple cross-legged position, Sukhasana, and I definitely recommend having a blanket to sit up on. It'll make it more comfortable for you, but if you don't have it, that's fine. So sitting comfortably, get up nice and tall on your sit bones. We're going to begin by warming up in that upper back area. So the first thing we're going to do are shoulder rolls. Bring them forward, and I want you to feel moving from the shoulder blades. Feel them squeeze together as you come forward. Squeeze the front together. Separate those shoulder blades really big. Just begin loosening up that upper back. Change direction. Coming back, opening across the heart. Breathe. One more. And just squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the heart. So just warming up that tension area in the upper back. And release and just take a breath. Change the cross of your legs. I like to stay balanced, so always do both sides. And again, sit up nice and tall on your sit bones. Bring your arms up in front of you, and I'm going to give you a side view so you can see where we're going with this. We're going to move from the shoulder blades. You're going to bring those arms forward. First thing you're going to do is push them away. Separate your shoulder blades. And then release. Shrug up. And release. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together without separating your hands. Keep them spaced equally, if you will. Release and pull them down. And release. And again, forward. Up. Release down. Press them back. Release down and pull down. And again, forward, up, press them back, and down. Change direction, take it back, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. And one more. Back, up, forward, and down. And release and just take a breath. It feels really good. And just take a moment, feel that upper back area. So nice. Move to all fours. So come on up to table position. And spread your weight out first through the palms. We want to protect the wrists, so press down to the base of the index finger. Then sink your chest down. So really you're drawing the shoulder blades together, just like we just did. And then you're going to push away and round into that upper back. And then again, come down and round. And here we are both warming it up. Keep it going. Warming up that area in the upper back. Loosening it up a little bit, but also working on strengthening it. I call these shoulder blade push-ups. So all the way down, squeeze the pencil between your shoulder blades. That's what I want you to feel. And then push away. Now, if this feels easy for you, walk the hands away and shift the weight forward, moving into a half plank. And keep it going. Shoulders come together and then push away and separate around. Down and up. And it's okay to go back into table if you want. And then from here, if you want to go a little harder, you can go into full plank. Down and up and down and up. One more. All right, drop the knees, move into extended child's, press the palms, reach the hips up, forehead down toward the floor, and just take a nice breath. I'm kind of panting after that. Come on up. Step your right foot up between your hands. Back knee stays down and release the hips forward. Just warming up the front of the hips a little bit. We'll need this as we move into camel pose. Sweep the arms forward and up and overhead. And just keep the hips moving forward. You're going to bend the elbows, lace the fingers behind the head. And if this isn't accessible to you, you can do this with the arms up or bend into cactus. And then you're going to round the chest and then come up and arc up. And then round the chest and come up. And if you're in cactus, it just looks like this. Round the chest and come up, and you're opening through the heart. So hands behind the head, you're going to lift that head a little bit and feel that in the upper back. And release and come down. Step the back foot up and give yourself a little bit of a wider stance, so wider than hip width. Elbows on the thighs. We're just going to round down into ragdoll. Let your head release. Feel the back muscles release up toward your head. Breathe. If you want to go further, you can take the hands down. This can be intense, so just be gentle with yourself. Go slowly. Feel your head release. Feel the back muscles again move up toward the head. And if you want to stay here, you can. If you want to go further, grab the elbows. Feel the weight of the arms. Pull the shoulder blades down. Make sure your belly is resting on your thighs. All right, hands come down. We're going to step the right foot back and drop the knee. Release the hips, lift up. Nice stretch through the front of the hip. And then sweep those arms forward and up. You're going to leave it here, move into cactus, or if you can access it, lace the fingers behind your head, lift that head up, and then round. Elbows come forward. You're not pulling on the head here, you're just rounding. And then come on up and come down. Come on up. And one more. Down and open up. All right, release, come down, step your front foot back and back into extended child's. One more time. Breathe. And then come on up and lie flat down on your belly. We are going to work on each of these pieces one at a time and slowly add on, okay? So the first thing I want to do is play with what your legs should be doing. So lie flat on your belly and just rest your forehead on your hands. Feel the tops of your feet as best you can. I know people can have tight ankles, in which case you're probably feeling more just your toes. That's fine. You can do the same thing there. If you can feel the tops of your feet, then go there. And what you want to notice is the tendency is to roll out to the outer edge of your feet. Let your heels drop out to the side and roll those heels out. We want to be right on top of both the knee, so right in the center of the knee and the center of the foot. And you can just tuck your toes under and adjust. And then feel the center of the knee and the top of the foot right in the middle. Then gently press the tops of the feet down a little bit and you'll feel the buttocks engaged just a little bit. So the glutes back there, you'll feel them engage, and right at the base, so a little bit of the hamstring too. That's the action you want in the legs. And again, like I said earlier, it's easy to forget about those because they're way back there. It's like, did they have to do something? I don't know. But yes, they are very important. Okay, so holding that, and just so you know, it's like 2 pounds of pressure, right? It's barely anything. but it makes such a difference, right? So you don't have to be struggling and working here. You're just gently pressing the feet and feeling that engagement in the buttocks. Now bring your arms up and overhead. We're going to do Sphinx pose. Externally rotate the arms slightly so your elbows are down. So if you were to lift your hands, they would come straight up, okay? Not out to the side. Then slide your elbows halfway back to underneath your shoulders. And from here, I want you to lift your heart, and we are activating the upper back in this one. You'll feel a little bit of action in that upper back. That's what you want to feel. So you're gently pressing the tops of the feet, and you're lifting your heart, feeling that arc in the upper back. I love this pose for this. It's one of my favorite back bends. I just feel like it wakes things up. Learning how to move from the upper back is crucial for back bends. Then go ahead and bring the elbows all the way back. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift up with the heart. Still pressing the tops of the feet. And then release all the way down. And rest your forehead on your hands here and relax your legs. Let your heels drop out and just gently rock your hips back and forth. With an opportunity to check in with the back. Make sure everything feels good. We should be okay so far. We haven't gone too far down the road, but I will say, if your lower back almost always, if not always, tenses up and starts to hurt when you do back bends, you may be feeling it already. So where I want you to work, keep following this video. I'm going to give you lots of options, but what you want to do is engage those legs and then pull the hands back and just go as far as you can, not feeling it in your back. Okay, you want to start playing that edge, finding where you can be. Do not move into the pain. If you start to feel it here, go back right to here. All right? Okay. The next back bend we're going to do is Shalabhasana, or locust pose, because I want to teach you another thing that often happens that can lead to lower back issues. So often when we do back bends, what we do is we grip our butt. Okay, I call it pointy butt because when you grip, your butt gets pointy. I can always tell when someone is gripping. And what happens when you do it, and go ahead and do it with me, you'll feel you turn toward the inner edge of your feet, right? And you turn to, and you get to the inner edge of your knee. And that's because the butt muscles, your glutes, which is a muscle in your buttocks, are external rotators of your thighs. So when you grip them, your legs will externally rotate. So here's the thing. We need to engage the buttocks without gripping it. And that's what you feel when you're gently pressing the tops of the feet down. You feel the buttocks engaged, but you notice that you're not rotating your legs. That's where I want you to be, okay? So just feel what you don't want and just start to grip it. You'll feel your thighs roll out and you roll to the inner edge of your foot. That's what you feel in the inner edge of your knee. Get back to the middle. And we're going to do Shalabhasana, which is lifting the torso and the legs. We're just going to start with the legs though so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about. So gently pressing the tops of the feet down. Do you feel that? Feel the engagement of the legs. And then lift the legs up. You won't go very far without feeling a rotation, okay? So you're lifting those legs and then set them down. You should still be in the middle of your knee and your foot. If you set it down and you realize you're more towards the inner edge, you know you're gripping the buttocks too much. So what happens when you grip the buttocks too much is it creates congestion in the sacroiliac joint, which is right back here, which can cause lower back discomfort, okay? So back to the middle. Gently press the tops of the feet down to engage in the buttocks. Then lift the feet straight up and take them down. And again, take it up and take it down. Can you feel it? This can be the game changer for people with lower back pain. Lift up and take it down. Okay. Ready for the next pose? Let's move into Bhujangasana. So in Bhujangasana, we're going to add adding the hands into the upper body. And we're also going to add the next concept that I talked about at the beginning, which is engaging your back muscles as you move into a back bend. So often I see people who don't understand Cobra Pose, coming up like this. I'm sure you've seen it. And then once they're up, they might bring the shoulders down. But what's happening is you're just settling into the lower back. We want to instead engage the back muscles and engage that upper back to come into the pose. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's get the hands in place and then we'll do the legs. So hands come underneath the shoulders, not out to the side unless you're really tight and that's all you can do. You want to bring those hands in nice and tight. And then externally rotate your hands slightly so the index finger points forward. And what you'll feel is it brings your elbows in, and if you squeeze a little bit more, it's going to bring your shoulder blades in too. I want that. I want you to feel that engagement, right? Then you're going to press the tops of the feet down. Make sure you're in the middle of the foot and the knee. Squeeze the shoulder blades and then inhale. Just use your back muscles. So you're not pressing into the hands at all. And come down. And again, come up. And come down. You're still squeezing those elbows in as you come up and come down. So we're engaging the back. This is great to do whenever you're starting a back bend series to just warm up those muscles. And also, now we're going to add on, what I want you to do is come up using your back muscles, not using your hands yet. Then to press into your hands, you keep the back muscles engaged as you come up. You see how aligned my back is when I do that? And then come down. And then again, you're going to inhale, engage, press into the hands to come further. And take it down. Still pressing the tops of the feet down. Inhale, come on up. I know there's a lot to think about, but that's the beauty of this, of yoga, is you have to think. You can't be thinking about other things. You are connecting to your body and concentrating on your movement. And then release. And just bring your hands up, rest your head. Release the heels to the side, gently rock side to side. And the beauty of it is that if you feel it in the lower back, that's your body's way of saying, oh, not quite yet. Like you're not there yet. You can't go that far. You might be able to, flexibility-wise, come up, into deepest pose. But if you feel it in the lower back, don't go there. Go as far as you can, not feeling it in the back, and work there. Because sometimes you just have to retrain the body, and it usually doesn't take very long. But you need to retrain the body in order to get where it is that you want to be. So now let's do the final one to experiment with, and that is Ustrasana or camel pose. And this one changes the game a lot because you move into your lower back. Like gravity is sucking you into your lower back. So I want to, and you can go ahead and do this with me right away. I want to share with you a few different variations that you can work with, because this pose is so powerful for manifesting. This is one of the 5 most important poses because it really opens your heart. It expands your personal power seat, your 3rd chakra. It's all good in so many ways. So the first thing you need to do is draw the belly in and lift up and out of the lower back. So think of lifting like this. Okay, you're not going to go very far, but it makes a really big difference. The tendency, again, is for people just to sink right into their lower back. Okay, now as you draw that belly up, what I want you to feel, if you can, this is subtle, so if you don't feel it yet, just hang in there. And it's a contraction right at the base of the buttocks. So it's the same contraction we had when the legs were behind us in the poses we were just doing. And that helps activate the lower body to give us support up here to keep it out of the lower back. The next thing you're going to do is externally rotate your upper arm to feel this broadness across the heart. And you're going to elongate. Now, all I want you to do for this first few is, I call them drop backs, but you're not really dropping back all the way. You're just going to go back as far as you can without any discomfort in the lower back, and then come on up. And again, back as far as you can, and then come back up. Just do a few more. This might be your Ustrasan. This is it, and that is just fine, right? And you're drawing the belly up, and you're lifting up and out of the lower back, and release. When you feel ready to go further, there's a few ways that you can support yourself. You can grab a block, or, well, grab two. I only have one just to show you, but you'll stick it on the outside of your ankle and then put the second one on the other side. And my block is underneath my plant, so it's decoration. I can't use it. So then you can lift up and go back slowly. So you're going back, you're learning how to go back further and further until you can get your fingers down. And if you only have one block, but you have a blanket, you can also use your blanket. You just tuck the toes to get it even higher. And again, come back. And if you can go further, you go to your heels, and then the full pose is all the way down to the heels. Now, we're going to do it once so you can feel it. And what I want you to realize and think about is you need to be strong enough to get all the way down evenly and not go one side and then the other, okay? It's not really good for the body to go one side and then the other, as you can probably imagine, because you're putting a strain right here. And then if you go asymmetric, it can really pull in the back. But also, it's showing that you don't have the strength to go all the way down in a supportive way. We need enough core to be able to do that. And that's why we do all the practice, okay? So you want to be able to go all the way down. I'll just tuck my toes. All the way down evenly, and be able to let go and be there, right? And then you can look forward, take your head up, whatever feels best for you. Okay, let's do it together. We'll just do one. Okay, so draw the belly in. Feel that tail tuck under. Feel that engagement right at the base of the buttocks. Externally rotate the arms. Lift that heart open. And then slowly take it back. Slowly in full control. I think you can see why we did the lunges earlier. You can feel it in the quads. Lift the heart. Look up. Breathe. And then come straight up and out. And then have a seat. If you can't sit on your heels, just pull your feet out and sit in your Sukhasana and just take a breath. Do you feel the little oomph or the big oomph? That, yeah, I got this. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, it's a good pose for manifesting. Now, draw the belly in, gently flatten that lower back. Breathe. Check in, make sure it feels good. It should feel fine. It shouldn't feel like, oh, it'll be okay in a second. It should feel fine right away. And if you have that discomfort, just know you just need to keep working a little higher up for a little bit longer. You will find a way to get all the way down when you keep working on it. So let's just gently stretch out our backs a little bit. Moving into an extended child's, coming up onto all fours, walking those hands away, and just reach your sit bones up. Get nice and long through your body. Breathe. Come all the way down into full child's pose. Round your spine, hands back by your feet. Just let yourself get really small here. And you can always do this one on your back, knees into the chest if this is not comfortable for you. And come on up. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, I'm guessing you would also like the tutorial I did on both Tadasana and the Warrior Pose series, Warrior 1 and 2 in particular. So you might want to check those out. I will link them below. And also let me know if there's any other tutorials that you would like to have. I'm planning on doing more like this. This was the first of this series. So if you would like more, let me know and I would be happy to do them for you. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me.